So I got a pleasant surprise yesterday. We're working at the shop, and my friend Ken, say hi to...
Howdy.
Yeah. My friend Ken comes by, and he says, hey, take my car and go run it. And I'm like, what? He says, yeah, the thing is in my way. It's just sitting there. It's been sitting there for years. Take the car and go run it. And I was like, Ken, I don't have time to run the stuff that I've got. I don't have the manpower to, we just can't do it. Got too much going on. So he says, well then, do you want your motor back? And I'm like, yeah, I want my motor back. So that's what we're doing right now. We're pulling the motor out. So here's what happened. Ken traded a Barracuda. This is going back 15 years now. Ken traded a Barracuda roller for this Daytona. And it's actually a pretty nice car. Here, come take a look at it. It's covered in filth. It's been sitting since, what, 2008 was the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It actually, this car tried to kill me twice, and I'll tell you that story in a second. So it's actually a pretty nice car. It's built like a tank. It's all mild steel. Nice car. So, he traded a Barracuda roller for this. It didn't have a motor in it. Didn't have a motor for it. So I says, I can whip something up real quick. So I had a 400, and I had some heads, and I had the anything. Actually, the blue 68 Roadrunner that's in the garage right now has all of the top end stuff that we put together for this thing. So I whipped this motor together, and he takes it to Bowling Green for the Mopar Nationals up there. And what did you run on that, Ken?
I think we, right off the trailer and stuff, 1030 is what we ran.
Yeah. So it was just, it was a mild bracket race type of thing. The idea was to try to run like a super gas kind of class. So right off the bat, just right off the trailer, no tuning, no nothing, it went 1020. So it was like right there in the ballpark. But unbeknownst to us, because he had never run this car before, there was an issue with the cooling system, and it had to do with the way the hoses were routed. Make a long story short, it overheated that motor. He made a few passes with it. It overheated the motor to the point that when we got it back and started looking things over, literally the main caps just fell out of the block. like everything was just toast in there. So that was the end of that. So we stuck a 413 in the car, ran it a couple of times with that, and that's when this thing tried, that's the first time this tried to kill me. So it was the only time I ever drove this car. I made a run with it. Now I had never driven it before, and I say to myself, during the run, I say to myself, well, this car pulls a little bit. You know, he never mentioned that the car pulls a little bit. So I get up in the lights, and I said, you know, time to hit the brakes. So I step on the brake, and this thing rips the wheel out of my hand and tries to make a hard left. It had locked up a caliper. I didn't know that. So at any rate, I obviously didn't kill it. Didn't kill the car. I didn't get killed, but it was all good. We fixed the front brakes, and then I says, I got a little 361 at the shop. I want to see what we could do with this 361, and we'll stick it in your car. So that's what this is. So we put this together. It's the bottom end is a 1961, 1962 361. It's got new pistons, rings, and all of that stuff. You can't tell now because it's sitting under 14 or 15 years worth of sludge, you know, dirt and everything. But it was a good bottom end. I did the heads. I don't remember what heads these are, but I remember I did a lot of pouring on them. And the second time this thing tried to kill me was the night that we put this together in the car. And we took it out by my shop, on the road in front of my shop, and we were doing just hole shots with it. So Ken gets in the car, and I says, it needs a converter, right? So I says, just neutral drop it. So he brings it up to like $6 grand, neutral drops it down in the first. The car hangs like a quick left and then a hard right, and I'm like trying to position myself, and he's coming right for me. So, do you remember that?
Yeah. And the driveway was kind of dipped in there when I hit it.
Yeah.
I just barely missed it. But the first time was driver error though. It wasn't the car, right?
It was either me or the telephone pole, and you managed to miss both of us.
Yeah.
So now I'm being reunited with an old friend of mine, and I've got like 1,000 ideas what I want to do with this engine, and I'm not going to say what they are yet. Al, do we have cool ideas for this thing? Right. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but we're going to get it out of here today, bring it back to the shop, tear it down so I can remember what the hell is inside of it. I don't remember what's inside of it, but you're going to be seeing some small cube, big block Mopar stuff on this channel soon. And I'm going to go one of two ways with this thing, and either way is going to be really interesting.
When you have two cars, two race cars, you have none.
I can agree with that. All right, Ken, you got jack stands?
Yeah. Even the engine bay is painted like Chrysler does.
No, it's not going to come out that way. Ken, there's no freeze plug in this motor.
Huh?
There's no freeze plug in this motor. It's missing a freeze plug.
Well, it's a good thing it didn't run, didn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That explains why there's no order in it.
Yeah. Oh, this is... That means that this thing froze.
Yeah. Hope it didn't crack the wallet.
Oh, it's even worse than that. Look in the exhaust port.
Nice fillets.
The critters living in it.
Huh?
It's critters living in the motor. You, oh, shit. And this one's on its way out.
What's that? What's on its way out?
Middle freeze plug. You'll have to sit with water in it. Dominus nobiscus. All right, so we don't have a 361 though.
Maybe just push the plugs out, the block's still good. No?
No, when they freeze enough to push the block out, it means it's going to be cracked in the valley. I don't know if it's worth pulling it out.
No, the block's cracked. Right there where that freeze plug is, that way, about that long.
It's done.
That's like that.
Anytime I ever see them freeze enough to push the core plug out, it's always cracked in the valley, right above the lifter galley.
Yeah. No, you can see over here where it's cracking, it drained.
What do you think? What do you want to do?
Well, heads are all it.
I don't remember, but I ordered them.
And is that stock bottle good?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the crank is still good. I'm sure that the rods and the pistons and everything is still good. But where the hell do you find a 361 block to stick all this shit in?
Yeah,
How bad is the crack on that side?
about that long. You can see where it drained.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, unless you want it for the heads, valve covers that they take. I mean, like I said, block's dead and trying to find another 360 watt.
No, I said that. It's got a good steel crank.
Yeah.
Good rods. Heads. I mean, we can pull the heads and leave everything. You know, let's just. What is it going to take to pull the rest of it apart, right?
That was 20 minutes.
Yeah. Let's just do that.
That's undone. That's undone. So they crawling with. I wanted the motor even move, turn over.
It probably will. Ken, you gotta sort of turn this.
So we can get to the torque rear bolts.
I'm bummed. I'm seriously bummed. Yeah, you gotta come straight up. It's just fitting right here.
All right, where's that opener at?
All right, so we gotta turn it sideways a little bit.
Hang on, hang on.
Wait a minute.
Oh, look, it's plain water.
That's a good sign.
Antifreeze is your friend, Ken.
Yes, I know. Now that's the drag strip.
Ken, no, watch. This, if that thing, it's gonna hit you right in the head.
That's why I got my arm against it.
Ready? Yep. Set, go.
All right, bring it up a little bit. All right.
That's about it. Coming down. Well, it didn't quite go as we had planned. So as we're pulling the motor, just getting ready to pull the motor out, pulling the starter off. Al,
We noticed a crack.
a big crack. Yeah, water had been left in the block as it sat, and well,
It said 2008.
so this can never be really a street motor again.
No.
No, and 361 blocks don't really grow on trees. So I say we turn this thing into a grenade.
Sounds like a play to me.
I think we take this to the no-name nationals.
You think?
Yes, and I think we're going to go one of those two ways that I'm thinking about, but we're not going to say anything of those two ways. And I think that we take this to the no-name nationals and just absolutely send it. Super send.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So that's what we're going to do. In the meantime, we'll throw this thing in Sledgehammer so we've got a mock-up. I see, if nothing else, right?
We got a mock-up.
We got a mock-up engine. So, and that's it. Let's get it off. All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow.